Marla on the track.
All right, we are live. Wow. How long y'all been in here? Y'all get here faster than I can. Good to see everybody. Hope y'all are having a good afternoon. I certainly am. We got some sunshine here in New York. About 63 degrees. So temperatures are starting to climb, but nonetheless, we're getting to spring. Thank goodness. Hope everybody's having a good afternoon. Crime Stories Obsessed. Miss Emma, how are you? Miss Lorraine Muhammad, peace and blessings upon you. Thank you for being here. Dancing Queen is in the house. Robin Chapman, how are you? Miss Rowe, how are you? Kentucky Girl, how are you? Angel P is in the house. We've got Shalma. Miss Shalma's in the house. Brandy B is in the house. Beverly Bagby is in the house. Suzanne Goins is in the house. Moulin Rouge is in the house. Wise Old Lady 2 is in the house. Cat Eyes is in the house. Samuel Fortier is in the house. Thank you for coming. Miss Hippie Mysteries is in the house. You play pool too? Mississippi Girl is in the house. Country Christian is in the house. Miss Camille, thank you for being in the house this afternoon, holding it down in blue. I miss you guys. Been working, putting together some casework. You know how I do it. Miss Leanne Ferguson is in the house. Marley 13 is in the house. New Orleans lady is in the house. Miss Jan is in the house. Much love to you, Miss Jan. And thank you very much for that beautiful appreciation you had sent me. I believe the last time I went live, I forgot to mention your name as part of the appreciation. Aquahoma sent me something. Marley 13 sent me something, I believe. And Miss Anna had sent me something. And boom, right there, I said, I forgot to mention Miss Jan. Can't miss Miss Jan. Much love to you all for holding it down. Thank you. Sweet Caroline is in the house. Gail Jarrells is in the house. Cat Hunter is also in the house. Pecan Pie is in the house. Okay. New sub from Everyday Shenanigans channel. Okay, well, thank you. Much love to you. Much love to Miss Angela from Everyday Shenanigans. I love her channel. She tells you like it is. I think we did a live together. I was up on her panel, and we were talking about the case, and got into some details. You know how we break it down. You know how Miss Angela breaks it down. I mean, she's terrific to work with, and she gets right down into the grassroots of the case. She don't play. She tell you like it is. You like it. You don't. But facts. Much love to Miss Angela from Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you. Let's see. Who else we got up in here? Stardust is in the house. My goodness. Thank you all for coming. I wanted to come back on some work that I was doing on the Summer Wells case. I haven't spoken about the Summer Wells case since we did the marathon, the Reward Fund Marathon. And I wanted to see what developed from all of it. We did the Reward Fund back in October. And then we had November, December. We came sliding into a new year. We had January, February, and now March. Since then. And I know that just yesterday, JHL had a news update on the Summer Wells case with the Detective John Pruitt, the nine months plus, and this is what they've got. Unbelievable. 9 months plus, and they're no closer to finding where Summer is. What happened to Summer? Miss Selena, welcome. Kim Holmes, welcome. It blows my mind. I know it blows yours to have Detective John Pruitt speak with WJHL and Channel 11 News in reference to checking every lead, going over all of the data that was collected from the phones, checking the GPS systems, most likely of the Subaru and any other GPS systems that may have been found in any vehicle that they may have owned. All of the searches, the mass searches that were done. I mean, 2 searches by EquiSearch, and then a 3rd search closer near the home. So that is telling. I mean, to me, that is telling. They're starting to say that they're closing a circle. Imagine a circle, a big, big circle. And yes, you know, whenever you search for a missing person, you always start from inside the home and then pan your way out. But in this case, they've done that. But now it looks like they're panning from the outside going back in. Have you noticed that? Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. 8P is in the house. April Smith is in the house. Much love to you, April. Jody H is in the house. Thank you for coming. So they're working their way back to the house. There's something that's telling them that Summer may not be that far from the house. And I'm scratching my head going, okay. They're checking all their information, and something is telling them to work backwards now, which is good because that's being very thorough. That's just in my observation. That's being very thorough. But nonetheless, it's been one hell of a case to follow these 9+ months, going on 10 months in 10 days. And it's been one hell of a journey, not only for content creators, but obviously for the folks that have been following the case. And I know that I had to take a break and start working on some other cases, in which I'm working on the Daniel Robinson case, beginning work on the Vertus Morgan Jr. case. I'll be starting work on that, as well as the Monisha Leith out of Georgia, because there are a whole lot more people going missing than just Summer. You know, and with all the content creators out there just working on Summer and not even focusing in on the other cases. I know Michael Vaughn is still missing, and there's some content creators focusing on that, and that's good. That's very good. But I decided to step away from the Summer Wells case so I can do some casework on other cases, which I'm doing. And then something just kept bothering me. Something kept bothering me as this case unfolded. over these last 9+ months, something kept bothering me. I called a content creator by phone and voiced my concern, and they agree with me. And I'm just trying to figure out this piece that's been irking me, but yet it didn't show up in the investigation at all, and I'm wondering why. There is a piece in this investigation, folks, that has not been talked about. In the last 9+ months, and I'm sitting here wondering why. Now, you're probably sitting there going, oh, John, as much as this case has been spoken about, what hasn't been spoken about? That's what this afternoon's live is going to actually talk about. And I'm sitting here scratching my head and I'm going, okay, wait a minute. Let me go to this content creators channel and see what Don and Candace said. I went there, listened. Then another content creator, Don and Candace. I listened. Well, actually, it was Don. Don came out the gate first. He was the spokesperson that represented the family and their missing daughter, Summer Wells, and was becoming pretty popular on YouTube. Said, wow, he's got time to go out and be on YouTube, but he's not looking for his daughter. And some of the content creators that had Donald on their channel, you would hear in the background Candace kind of like fighting with Don, in a sense, telling him to stop talking to those people on YouTube, and trying to get him off. That didn't work. But now, out of all of the interviews that Donald has done on YouTube, this one piece that I'm going to share with you this afternoon was never discussed or explained by Don at all. I said, where did you go, Don? Where did you go, buddy? Where'd you go? Where'd you go when you got home? You went someplace. That's the part you're not telling us, because that's the part of the narrative that has a break in it. This narrative that got started on WJHL, in that interview with Ansley Daniels. They sat there together, shoulder to shoulder, side by side, and told that story, told that narrative. Candace did anyway. Looking at each other, trying to remember what to say. You remember that interview? Type a 1 in the chat if you remember that interview. I'm sure you do. We got home. Was helping Grandma with the knee brace. We were planting flowers. Gave Summer a piece of candy. We washed our hands. And I told Summer to go in the house, and I walked her to the front door, saw her go in, told the boys to watch their sister. Remember that story? Yeah. Over and over and over and over, we heard that story. It came out of Donald's mouth word for word when he was interviewed by WJHL. Same words. And I just found that funny, that they were the same exact words. Go back to those news broadcasts. They'll tell you exactly what Don and Candace has been saying since day one. Now I'm going to ask you another question. Watch this. Watch this now. We got how many people in here? 83 and climbing. Okay. Watch this. Miss Libby, welcome. Miss Barbara, Eddie, welcome. I'm going to ask you a question now. Type a 1 in the chat if you believe today, right now, if you believe that story that Don and Candace told us. Type a 1 for yes and 2 for no. Do you believe their story? Watch this. Look at this. Look at this. I hope Candace is watching, because Donald's in jail, obviously. Maybe he might be watching. Who knows? I'd probably give him a laptop or something. Look at this. Out of everybody following this story, why don't you believe them? Oh, I got to 2. Hold on. Thank you all for coming. I had to put my 2 in there too. Nobody believes this story since day one. So why do they keep telling the same story? YouTube content creator after YouTube content creator after content creator. If it's not on Ziggy's channel, Benny's channel, Mr. and Mrs. Cher's channel, where have they not been? Well, they haven't been on my channel. I won't allow it. But think about it. And over and over, they tell that story. And here we are as content creators trying to get to the guts of that story, get to the truth of it, because we don't believe it. So why do they keep telling that story? It's like they're hanging on to that story to save their ass. That's why. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. If you're going to lie, you better stick to your lie, is what it is with Don and Candace. And watching their behavior, not only on YouTube, but watching their behavior trying to search for summer. Have they searched for summer? Wait a minute. Has anybody seen Don and Candace actually search for summer? Any videos out there with Don and Candace out there searching for summer that you know of? I haven't seen any. I have not seen not a one. So, but if anyone who's a content creator or subscriber, and thank you for coming, has seen any video footage of Don and Candace out there, boots on the ground, searching for summer, please send me the link. I got my email in the description box. If you can find any footage of them out there searching for summer, because I haven't. And I'm a subscriber to a lot of content creators on YouTube, whether they know it or not. Miss Emma's in here. I subscribe to her. Miss Angela from Everyday Shenanigans, I'm subscribed to her. I'm subscribed to Scott H, True Crimes Commentary, Miss Q. My goodness, I can go on and on and on. I followed Prayer Garden, Miss Ziggy, Benny, Doug, Chris Madonna. I mean, I got them all lined up. And this one piece of this case has not been explained. And I'm saying, why? How come? Why are they avoiding explaining this piece when they put it out there? It's incredible. They just kept going over and over and over with the narrative. That's all they did. And let me tell you, a lot of these content creators have asked some very, very good questions of both Don and Candace. And it just seemed to have a fine line to stay away from a specific thing called a broken timeline. They're not going near where the timeline broke and then picked back up. See, because it was broken by Candace and then picked up by Donald. That's from my observation. The storyline breaks down with Candace. Last person that Summer was with was who? Right. Exactly. How do you lose your daughter on your own property? Oh, wait a minute. We got the answer. It's an abduction. There we go. 5 seconds after she went missing, it's an abduction. 5 seconds. Donald states he got home. He looked around down by the creek. Oh, I knew it right then and there. I knew it right then and there. She was gone. She was abducted. That quick. Why? See? It's to break the timeline. Out of all the content creators that have been, frantically working on this case, they've been working on the timeline. Because Don and Candace knows. They figure out the timeline with dead ducks. They figure out this timeline with dead ducks. And it looks like law enforcement is starting to zero back toward the house. That's what the last search was all about. And it kind of makes you wonder, why is everybody scratching back at the house again? Or somewhere close to the house? Maybe they're backtracking like I've done, like other content creators have done. Because we could sit here day to day, week to week, month to month, talking about Don and Candace narrative over and over and over again. We can continue to play Chris Madonna's interview room videos. We can go back and listen to Donald's interviews on the content creators that he's connected with to do interviews with. And now we have Candace. Now she can't stay off YouTube. And I'm scratching my head saying, why aren't they out there searching for their daughter? Well, Donald can't do it because, well, obviously we know the story about that now. Violated the law. DWI? Wait a minute. Donald, aren't you looking for your daughter? How do you get a DWI? How do you get a DUI, Donald? Not looking for your daughter? So these telltale signs of what they do are speaking so loud, what they say, we do not understand. And hence, they have to hold their story together. Because what they're doing absolutely doesn't make any sense. You've heard that from me. You've heard that from other content creators too. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not supposed to make any sense. It's coming from liars. That's why it doesn't make sense. A lie never makes sense to the truth. Only the truth makes sense when you figure out the lie. And so this afternoon, I'm going to make an attempt to share some information, and maybe some other content creators will scratch their head and say, yeah, John Q is right. Why wasn't this part ever explained by Donald all that time he was on YouTube? And maybe, just maybe, it might get the attention of law enforcement to take a look at it too. Okay, so with that said, I'm glad everybody, wow, well over 100 people up in here. Well, much love to you. So here's what we're going to do. You know how I like to get started, like to get busy, you know. Let me do this and let's go to work. All right, we're back. Thank you for just that for a moment. I wanted to share that with you. My brother Boss Blake put that together for me. Much love goes out to Mr. Boss Blake. And I saw Miss Libby come in. I see Miss Duchess here. I told you I had a surprise for you, Miss Libby. Oh, yeah, we try to keep it together. Some of the casework that I'm involved in doing right now, currently working behind the scenes with some content creators that are in the room right now. We're going to be doing some special work and also some special lives. You definitely want to connect up with John Q on this channel as we're digging deep. So, where did Donald go when he got home? Anybody know? That's a good question. He told us a lot of different things in a short period of time. since it was on YouTube. Never told us. Candace never told us how she searched for summer. She told Chris Madonna at the swimming hole at Warriors Park her explanation as to what she did. But not enough to convince Chris Madonna, though. Summer went missing. She gets on the phone and calls Donald. Donald says, call the cops. She throws her phone down in the back of Donald's truck to go get her mother's phone to call the police. Then she can't wait for the police, so she jumps in her mother's truck and goes and searches for Summer. She said she went down this road, she went down that road. She went every place that she could possibly go to look for Summer. She saw no cars and she saw no body. Remember that? And then she stops. Well, hence, that's where the timeline breaks down. There's nothing after that. That's where the timeline breaks down. Now the timeline picks back up again when Donald arrives. And this is where, this is my opinion, this is where I believe they craft their narrative. They shaped the story because something unexpected happened to Summer. June 15th of 2021 at 110 Ben Hill Road. Something unexpected happened, but happened to Summer. And when you're on the fly, trying to figure out what to do, you're liable and willing to say anything to cover your ass. And people are in panic mode, and the blood pressure's high, and they haven't a clue as to what to do. You're liable to do anything. I think that's what Don and Candace did. Did anything. We know that there was an open CPS case that they had. Got to put it all together. They had an open CPS case before Summer went missing. Remember? Okay. You had a domestic violence dispute in the previous year when Jose was there at the house. Police report, Jose had to leave. He went to South Carolina. He had to get out of there. He witnessed what he told us when he was there. And you have to take his story and include it also. Some parts, obviously, are more personal to him than most other parts. But as a character witness, yeah, Jose would be deemed a character witness for both Don and Candace and Grandma and the boys and Summer. He saw what he saw. He said what he saw. He shared that information, which was very good, because now we can include parts of his story into the narrative to get a better look at Don and Candace and Grandma and kind of tie it all together to see if it fits. A lot of it does, and some of it doesn't. Well, let's take a look real quick. And I know that everybody's up on point with the latest developments. I just wanted to share the recent news article. It's a short one. You've probably seen it already. You probably already went to a content creator this morning, and they played it and they made their commentary on it. That's great. That's great. Listen to the words one more time from the lead detective, John Pruitt, who's been working on the case, and get an idea as to how much they do know and how much they don't know. Because it really sounds like, to some degree, they're running out of options, but they're keeping everything open and on the table. Everybody's still a person of interest. No one's been cleared. All the options are still on the table. However, in the month of December, they narrowed it down to foul play, but now they have to also keep the other possibilities on the table as well. Interesting. Let's listen in before I do that. Oof. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Let me put this up here before I play any material content. Okay. Make sure. Copyright disclaimer. This is for educational purposes only. The information and material I'm going to share with you is material that I have collected from the internet, YouTube. I will be sharing some videos from other content creators, which I give full credit to, which will be written down in the description box below on this live. And let's see if we can go ahead and get into the latest update yesterday on Summer
Nearly
Wells.
10 months and still no answers.
Tonight, News Channel 11 dives deeper into the disappearance of Hawkins County 6-year-old Summer Wells. For the first time, we have heard from the lead investigator with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office.
And tonight he tells us what this investigation looks like right now.
Josh and Sarah, the case of Summer Wells does not look much different today than what it did when I first reported live on authorities searching out in Beach Creek back in June of last year. Now, authorities are spending more time than ever before fielding through false tips as well as false hope.
It's sporadic. One day you might get 5 leads. The next couple of days you might not get anything. But it's been an active investigation that's I've been devoted to since it first occurred.
As Summer's disappearance approaches the 10-month mark, the scenarios of what happened the night of June 15th continue to grow.
The wandering away, sneaking off to go play or whatever she may have done, that is a viable option.
The night she went missing, authorities said she walked away from her house. The following day, an Amber Alert was issued.
People are probably tired of hearing this. All possibilities are on the table. We're not completely eliminating the abduction idea, but there's nothing to lead us to believe that we need to focus on that alone.
In the height of the search, those on the ground combed through miles of tough, rugged terrain, leaving many to wonder how there was no trace of little Summer.
She was like 3 foot, 40 pounds. It would be a lot easier for her to get through some of the foliage, and she's lower to the ground, smaller body, a lot more flexible.
Along with the ground search, Pruitt says investigators have poured through data.
We have gone through reams and reams of data. We've collected statements. We've chased down every credible lead that has been given to us. And we are still not much further along than when we started. Surveillance videos, GPS locations, cell phone tracking, cell phone data, electronic data, anything that we could think of to get our hands on.
As time continues to pass since that June day, it's increasingly hard to hold on to hope.
Well, we're 9 months in. I would hope that she is still alive somewhere, but we also have to be open to the idea that that is no longer a possibility.
Pruitt says that he has never worked a case like this with so many different entities involved, and he says it's still baffling that it looks the same as it did that night that Summer was reported missing. Coming up tonight at 11, we learn more about Summer's family's relationship with law enforcement, especially as her father remains jailed and lawyers are now involved.
Okay. And anyone with any information on the whereabouts of little 6-year-old Summer Wells, there's the tip line right there. 1-800-TBI-FIND. Now that is the update. And it's very interesting to see Detective John Pruitt actually cover, at least let us know what they were able to at least cover in the case these 9 months and change, going on 10 months in 10 days. And I've got a lot of people in the chat. My goodness, we've got LC Justice in the house. Did I see Miss Q come up in here? Miss Q is in the house. Much love to Miss Q if she's in the house. I miss talking with you. Okay, so there's the update. All right, so here's what I guess I want to do now. Just going to go into a screen share here. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. I'm just getting warmed up. All right. So here we have the Amber Alert still active in this case. And here we have Mr. Donald Wells, who now sits in jail for violating his probation. Got some legal issues going on. He's got a court-appointed attorney for that. Going to handle and help him as best as they can under the circumstances. We have Candace here. And someone said, or there may be word out there that Candace has an attorney. What would Candace need an attorney for if she hasn't been charged anything? Why would she have an attorney? The only attorney that are involved in this case directly is for the boys, because they were taken out of the house by CPS. So now they have attorneys, court-appointed attorneys. If Candace had an attorney, she wouldn't be on YouTube. She's got a media manager. That's pretty much all she's got. But other than that, nope, because she keeps talking. She's talking like Don used to talk when he was on YouTube. For a woman that didn't want to talk to anybody, especially on YouTube. Look at her now. She got her own channel. And she's bouncing from interview to interview to interview, just like Donald did. Not out here searching, looking, putting together, organizing search parties and things of that nature, just like David Robinson is doing in Buckeye, Arizona, looking for his son, Daniel Robinson, who's been missing since the 23rd of June of 2021. What you do speaks so loud. What you say, I can't understand. There's a difference between parents who are actively searching for their child and parents who are not searching at all. And these two, since the 15th of June, have been right where they've been since Summer went missing. Home. Nothing else. And then got on YouTube to different content creators, and we saw everything unfold. So I have to say thank you to all those content creators, Mr. and Mrs. Cher, Ziggy, Benny, anyone who has interviewed either one of these two or both together, because it tells part of the story of who these folks are. What they have done versus what they have not done speaks so loud. And it's obvious they're getting nervous, especially Donald right now, because he's in jail. Not for anything to do with Summer now, but he's in jail. They got him. They can get to him anytime they want. They got him. John Pruitt, the lead detective in the case, and for Summer, is waiting for Don to call him, to talk with him. You think Don is going to talk to Detective John Pruitt about the disappearance of his daughter after all of what he has been doing on YouTube? Yes or no? You think Donald is going to talk to Detective John Pruitt while he's in jail? If Don hasn't talked to them when he was out of jail, in order to hold the fallacy together, you have to avoid talking to the people that would get to the truth. And that's what they've been doing. That's just my observation. Candace doesn't want to talk to law enforcement. Oh, they can come up here and get this phone anytime they want to, is what she said. In other words, they can come to me. I'm not going to them. Listening to the language carefully. You mean to tell me that you wouldn't go to law enforcement and turn that phone in regards to finding your daughter? Because that's what you said. You got this guy, what's his name? Tim Mullins? He's got the phone. Oh, wait a minute. The uppers. Uppers. What the hell is uppers? I thought she was talking about drugs. Oh, the uppers got the phone. The uppers? You sure there's no downers in this, Candace? No. The uppers got the phone. So what kind of language is that? The uppers. Is it an attorney? Is it law enforcement? I can't say. That's what these people are doing. That's what they're doing. They're using specific language to stay away from a specific area in the narrative. And that's the broken part of the narrative, where Candace breaks it and Donald picks up on it. Their daughter, been missing since June 15th of 2021, has been missing. Still missing. Don't know where she is. They need to find her, period. Alive or not, they need to find Summer. And this is not going to stop until that is done. And they need to realize, and I'm talking to Don and Candace, you both need to realize that that is exactly what's going to happen. And sooner or later, your story is going to really crash. Because Summer needs to be brought home now. Many in this chat would agree with me on that, since they don't believe your story. And it's not just on my channel, it's on every single content creator that's been carrying this story's channel. Because all you have to do is ask them to ask their audience the same question I asked you this afternoon. Do you believe Don and Candace's story? And guess what their chat room is going to light up? Answer: no. In the picture, when I ask this question, the little picture in the upper left-hand corner here of Summer that day in the truck, driving home from the swimming hole, that piece of video that was recorded on TikTok that allegedly Grandma had taken while Candace was driving on the way back home after dropping off Hunter. Here's the question. 1 for yes or 2 for no. Do you believe Summer is alive in this picture? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Watch the chat room now. One for yes, 2 for no. Share your thoughts. Okay. Okay. Now I want everyone to watch the chat and look at the numbers, because it's everyone following the case. This is what their impressions are. Okay, Claire. Claire is undecided. Okay. It's hard to really tell if she is alive or if she's gone here. We've had certain content creators study and examine that still shot, that picture, to find some peculiarities there. You know, there's a wetness underneath her seatbelt that appeared to be either juice or it wasn't as red as blood, as far as I saw. The discoloration of the nail beds on her hands, the pale color of her face. It looks like there is some kind of an injury just above the right eye in this picture, but an injury that was healed already. But it's very hard to tell whether she's sleeping or if Summer's gone. However, this is the last photo of Summer that day on the way home that was posted. I think it was 306, either 306 or 309, of Summer sleeping in the truck. And this is the last picture that we know of. Is this the right picture? I'm only referencing the picture of Summer in the truck with her school clothes on. And as many of you has seen that picture on different channels, You probably have a copy of it on your computer. That's why I asked that question. Do you believe summer's alive or not in the picture? So I'm only using that as a reference point. Upper corner, the milk picture. Okay, why all the milk? They didn't have a working fridge. Yeah, but this is on the way home. But here, we have another party that's been involved in this case, not talkative, but also included some information regarding the timeline and made that available publicly just recently. And that was Grandma's nap that Candace forgot to mention. And a nap definitely changes the timeline now, doesn't it? One less person's eyes open. So now that truly does leave Candace with Summer. The boys are in the house. They've taken the groceries in the house. Who's with Summer now? See, that's hard to get out of that box. So Candace knows she's in that box. That's where the timeline breaks down. All right. We're told by Don about the dog trail. This was Don doing the dog trail story that came in later when they were searching the property. Now, in Don's own words, on Mr. and Mrs. Cher's channel, Voices Behind the Wall, he told them that about this dog trail. Don said that he saw one of the searchers with one of the canine dogs go down this trail, like if they were following Summer's scent. This is Don telling us that's what happened at that particular time. Nothing came back as a verification to Don's claim, stating that, yeah, Summer's scent was definitely on the dog trail. Okay. However, Dave Rader of Midwest EquiSearch made a statement. I don't know if it was on Off the Cuff or on Duty Ron's channel, made the statement that the dogs followed the scent down the driveway to the end of the driveway. That was an official statement from Dave Rader. Who are you going to believe? Don's dog trail story or Dave Rader's story? I would lean more toward Dave Rader than Don's story. But now we have to find out what Don is doing here. So we listen some more. Now I want to bring this up. I've got to find it first. Thank you all for joining the chat. Welcome, Mr. Boss Blake. Welcome, Brother Renegade is back. Hope you're feeling well, my man. Thank you for holding it down. All right. Chris Madonna has been on this property when he did his interview with Candace. Benny Keys has been on this property when he went there to visit with Don and Candace. Jose has been on this property. Number of people have been in this property. Grandma's on the property. The boys are on the property. Summer's on the property. We don't know if any of the neighbors ever visited this property before. But we do have people who are knowledgeable about this property. That's been there, boots on the ground, and can tell you a lot about how steep these hills and routes and roads are. Okay? So we've gotten Candace's story to a point to where it breaks down. They came back from the swimming hole. They arrived back here at the house. Let's say for now, for the sake of this live, let's put it at a 3:15 mark, 3:15, 3:20, officially on the property. The truck is off. The kids got the groceries. They're taking them in the house, and Summer is still in the truck. Summer is still in the truck. What didn't make sense to me was that when she went missing, they said she had on a pink top and gray shorts, no shoes. I was thinking, okay, how did she get out of the school clothes then? Because Candace never mentioned it in the narrative. Summer went inside, she changed her clothes, she came back out, we planted flowers. Grandma gave her a piece of candy, we washed her hands. Summer wanted to go in the house to play with her brothers, so I walked her to the doorway. And that never fit into the narrative. It wasn't included in the narrative. That gave me a problem. How'd she switch clothes? She went missing in different clothes? So when did she change? But Candace never tells us in her narrative, does she? She doesn't tell us. She goes down to the basement after yelling and screaming, Summer, Summer, Summer. She goes downstairs and she's not there. She's just gone out the basement. Yet it was stated by law enforcement and authorities that she went missing outside the house, outside the grounds of the house. Candace says the basement. There's a lot of stuff breaking down there. Okay. Candace doesn't tell us that Summer gets out the truck, does she? No. So that puts Summer in the truck. And if something happened to Summer at that swimming hole, where she may have slipped underwater, had taken in some water, maybe had a fall of some kind, something messed with her on the way back home. If that orange soda bottle that was sitting beside her in the truck, that she may have taken a drink from it, not knowing if it was stale, if it was good, if it was laced, or anything that could have messed with her, perhaps made a contribution in making her sick and not feel well, we have to consider that. But we do know from that picture that we saw of Summer sleeping up against the milk jugs, that something ain't right. Long sleeve top, long sleeve bottoms, windows rolled up, and nearly 80-degree heat outside. And it was stated it was hot. I have to keep that in mind. All right. So folks being here at the property, having knowledge of the property, would only tell you exactly how steep these hills are, how rough the roads are. Chris Madonna can definitely tell you. He told you on the interview room when he came here to do the interview with Candace. I think he lucked out big time by getting that interview to go in the house, having the camera on him, and really giving us a lot about how these folks live. And we definitely saw a lot. But here's the piece I want to show you. Let me get to it. Because this is the part that I've been scratching my head on for all of this 9 months and change now, going on 10 months. I've studied and watched this picture in one of those deep mind wave type of thinking situations, looking at all of this terrain, looking at Beach Creek Road, Simpson Loop, Ben Hill Road, the foliage, everything. I'm saying, how does a 5-year-old get gone that fast? How does a 5-year-old go missing that fast on vast property? Now take a look at that. What you see are yellow lines. All these, there are specific route connections here between Beach Creek, Ben Hill, Simpson Road, all the way swings all the way back around to Beach Creek. Look at the massiveness of this property. This is 11.2 acres. Well, better yet, let me do this. But this is the surrounding area that gives access to this area. It would only make sense for Summer if she walked off the property to hit an access point. It would only make sense. There it is. This is 11.2 acres of 110 Ben Hill Road. This is pretty big. Pretty big. Now you have to say, 5-year-old walk off the property. How far could she get? All without being seen on an afternoon after she got home from the swimming hole? Daylight didn't break until later on that evening after 8:30 p.m. in the summertime. Considering factors in this tell us it would be impossible. Daylight, 11 acres, and she gets off that property that fast to walk away without being seen by any of the neighbors, whether it be Jody Sue, Fred Hill, or anybody on Beach Creek Road, across the street on this property, anywhere on Simpson Loop. No cars covering these access points would have seen a 5-year-old child out there on the street. I sat there and I scratched my head. I said, there's something different here. Let's take a look at something here. I want to show you something. Let's go to Donald's narrative. I got to find it first and then bring it back up. I want to show you what Donald, I got to bring it up. Just give me a moment. I want to share with you what Donald shared with Mr. and Mrs. Cher on their channel. Ha. Mr. and Mrs. Cher on their channel. I think they did a fantastic job covering the interview as subtly and as slowly and as thoroughly as they did. even to have this guy talk. I'm just getting everything set up. I'm going to share with you what I got a headache over. And I want you to pay careful attention because we may have something, hopefully, that'll change the narrative of this story. I'm getting to the point. I think if we get to the point fast enough, we don't waste people's time. Okay? So with that said, let me do this once again. I'm going to be sharing with you information from another content creator's channel. This information was made public on their channel. We give full credit to them, and that's Mr. and Mrs. Cher on Voices Behind the Wall. And this is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107. This is for educational purposes only, and it tips the balance and fair use. You will find the link to the video I'm going to share with you in the description box. I give full credit to Mr. and Mrs. Cher for sharing this specific information out of all the videos that they did with us, because this is the video piece that drove me crazy. Okay. Oh, let's get it together. Thank you all for coming. Boop. Okay. Just give me a second here. Okay. What you're about to see is Donald's narrative played out in a video that he did. I believe it was for Mr. and Mrs. Cher, because it is posted on their channel. I want to walk you through this until I get to a certain point. Okay? So, with that said, hopefully you guys can see it. And I have the volume up. And I want you to pay careful attention to everything because it is information directly from Donald Wells himself. Okay? He wants us to know something. So let's find out what he wants us to know. As you can see, this is a video of Donald walking on his property. And I believe what he was asked to do was to retrace his steps on that day Summer went missing. And he said that he would do a video of everything that he did on that day. And then gave this information to Mr. and Mrs. Cher. They then shared this information with us on their channel. Let's pay careful attention here because this is Donald's narrative. We'll be able to see certain things we hadn't seen in different ways. This is the shed up
Okay, I'm gonna
above
shoot the
that he
bottom of
showed
the dog's
first.
trail where it comes out onto Ben Hill Road. I don't know why, but anyway, this creek is down here.
I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Goes out through there. The ridge. Let's see. But anyways, it's right here. It starts and goes up along the side of the ridge, goes up to the top, to the almost to our back door. Okay, so
Okay, we got to deal with some commercials here. I'll get right back to it.
okay, so on my way home that day, I knew that they were searching at the top of our hill for Summer, and I knew my best bet was to drive straight to the bottom of our property.
Can you guys hear that? Type of
here where
one.
this house is on the left is our road. I passed it straight. This is all our property here to the left. All this, our house is up there on top. So all this is our property. So I turned straight away in here.
This is right off of Beach Creek Road, down at the bottom
Straight.
where the shed is.
Our house is up there. I drove Subaru straight down here.
And he makes a left turn into this hub area right near the creek.
To the creek here. I went down this hill right here. I seen my boys straight away over there. All three of them were together. And I looked over to my left over this way, and I seen my neighbor over there.
Now he sees his three boys on one side near the creek. He looks over to the other side and he sees a neighbor. We got 5 people here, including Don himself. Boys on one side, the neighbor on the other. How far away, we don't know. Donald never explains how far this neighbor was. He never makes an identification as to what neighbor it is. One on his side of the street, one across the street, near the Simpson Loop property. He just says he saw a neighbor. This is all Donald's statement.
That's when I knew something was very, very wrong. And then
that's when he knew something was very, very wrong, when he saw his boys and he saw the neighbor. Well, how could you come to that conclusion so quickly? Something was wrong. You were called by your wife on the phone, says she couldn't find Summer right. So you already knew from the phone call that something was wrong. Why would seeing your boys and a neighbor down at the creek give you the impression something was wrong?
So I hollered several times, screamed for Summer. No, of course, no reply. And old hunting blind there. You see where the tree service. I'm gonna get out. Anyway,
now here's the creek that these kids would play at.
Cleared all this out.
Open clearing that runs way up
all the way
toward the house.
Both ways for power lines. Okay, all the way up to that house up there. But anyway, so turn around.
Now you'll notice Don gets back in his car and now he's going to turn around. His nose is straight up where that creek is. But this area is so dense with foliage, he has to shimmy himself, maneuver his car to get out of that area. He's deep in. Now, this is the red Subaru. Now he comes back up away from the creek, makes a right turn,
And then at that time, you know, I don't know.
and heads toward the shed.
Little shack here used to be for horses. I framed it in a little bit.
Did you know you could receive free cell phones?
Give me a second. I'll recalibrate that. Thank you all for coming.
I was going to try to utilize it, but I never used it.
And look at the foliage.
And inside this shed here.
Here's the shed.
Junk, whatever.
This is what's in the shed.
Winds blow
The
roof
structure of the shed.
off. So, bunch of junk.
Don
So this time I
stated
go
that he never used the shed.
to the top of our house. I guess I'll go ahead and film that.
Let's see what else he shows us. Now, this is what he did, or this is what he states he did. He leaves the shed area. He reconnects back onto Beach Creek Road, makes a right turn, and heads down about a quarter of a mile down this road to make another right turn on Ben Hill Road. Follows Ben Hill Road past the dead end sign. The same road Chris Madonna took from the interview room when he went to the house. And here he makes a right turn in front of the driveway. Also very dense on both left and right hand sides.
Chris said this hill was real bad. I had to use 4-wheel drive. I use my 2-wheel drive truck to come up this hill all the time.
This is a very steep area to try to get up to this house. There's the camper. Here's the house. Here's the carport.
Anyway, thank you. Okay.
And that is what he did for Mr. and Mrs. Cher. Okay, excuse me for that. Okay. All right. So that is his drive. He came from Jonesboro, took him about 40 minutes, 35 minutes tops. He's going at 90 miles an hour on a 45 mile an hour highway. Give or take 50, 45, 50. When you hit Beach Creek, it's about 45 miles per hour. Okay. So he said he got home pretty quick. Okay. Now we have a timeline, and the timeline states that he left work at 5:30, or did he arrive at home at 5:30? What do we know? Did he leave work at 5:30, or did he arrive home at 5:30? From what he told Chris Madonna on the interview room, he mentions 5:30, doesn't he? Type of 1 for yes, 2 for no. Because we're getting to the meat of this potato. One for yes, 2 for no. 5:30. He said he thought he got home at 5:30. He was already home. 1. Okay, 1 for yes. Okay. Either way, dispatch didn't dispatch the call over until 911 call came in at 6:30. Okay, Heather. Okay, we're not talking about the phone call. We're talking about Don's arrival. I remember him telling Chris he was kind of mixed up with the times. Could have been 5:30. If you go back to that interview, that telephone interview that Chris Madonna did with Don tried to play a little shuffle trick there. Okay, he couldn't recall correctly whether it was 5:30 or maybe earlier. You see? But he interjects the 6:30 phone call and hangs on to the 6:30 mark. That's when we made the call. It was at 6:30. So it puts me where? It puts him home at 6:30 when they made the call, or 6:26 p.m. Okay. So Don has to remember the timeline. Okay. But a lot of you agree that, yeah, he was trying to recall whether it was 5:30 or earlier or later. He really couldn't tell, but I know we call the 911. We call the cops at around 6:30, and that's what he hung on. Okay. All right. Yeah. They aren't good, Jody. I know they aren't good. So here, how did I want to tie that in? Oh, okay. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to take this out of screen share. Well, I got to keep that there. Hold on. Let me see if I got it down here. Okay, we played that, so I don't want that. Hold on. Bear with me. We're getting to it. Because once we get to it, we will definitely have it. And I appreciate you all for being here. Yeah, we're definitely taking a look at some stuff. All right, so here it is here. Okay, let's get that loaded up. Appreciate your patience. I'm working, making sure that take care of the buffering and all that other stuff before I get to play it. All right, so we got that. All right, let me come back. We're getting there, folks. All right. Right there. Right here. Okay. Now here is Mr. and Mrs. Cher, along with the panel. I believe Benny Keys is a part of the panel. We got Cam and Allie from Cracking Cases on the panel. We've got Don on the panel. This was during a Q&A that they did pertaining to when Summer went missing. I selected a certain part because this is the part that made me think the hardest. And I'll connect the dots as we go, because this is what everyone, I believe, needs to focus on and get some answers to. Okay, so listen carefully as Mr. and Mrs. Cher go through a series of questions, and then Donald is going to describe, as best as he can remember, exactly what he did the day Summer went missing, the phone call he received from Candace, how he got home, what he did. Okay? All right. Because this I found to be a very, very important interview that he did do.
If what?
The scream that the neighbor heard, if she knew if it was a child or an
Oh,
adult.
she said it was a really weird scream. Like it still haunts her. I can't imagine, but I'd say, from what I understand, like maybe her mouth was covered and she probably couldn't breathe, and she probably was able to get out a scream or something like that in terror, kind of scream. And so, yeah, that's horrible.
Now, that's how Donald answered the question about the scream. Nothing specific. Was it a male scream? Was it a female scream? Was it a child scream? Was it an adult scream? Nothing specific. Everything held in a very general, open-ended way. He allows you to fill in the blanks. This is how Donald talks. I'm not going to tell you. You figure it out. That's how he's been talking since he's been going live with the different content creators. I'm not telling you, Jack, you figure it out. It's for me to know and for you to find out. You know, that kind of shit. All right. But let's continue to listen. That's what he said about the scream. Jody Sue couldn't tell us either, whether it was a male or female, adult, a child. It was a weird kind of scream. It was an animalistic scream, one of her children said. They couldn't identify what kind of a scream it was. Law enforcement said it was unfounded. You can't make heads or tails out of it. You don't know where it came from. You can't tell us, whether it was an adult, a child, of anything. So what are you talking about? That's pretty much what they held in their head about it. It's just unfounded. Nothing can prove it. Nothing can verify it. No one has. So how much value does the scream have between 4:30 and 4:42? 4:30 and 4:42, according to Jody Sue. Okay, let's listen.
She can scream loud. I mean, that little girl can scream.
And little girl can scream. Now, a 5-year-old, I believe if Summer screamed, it would have been loud and it would have been identifiable. That's that girl screaming out there. You see? Or that's that kid screaming out there. It's identifiable. But in this case, it's non-identified. It's just thrown out there. Yeah, there was a scream. Oh, yes, it was horrible. The neighbor was so stricken. They were terrified. This is how Don is portraying that. He's feeding off of it. And since it's out there, why not follow the yellow brick road?
I've just been,
Leslie E.
I've been really devastated.
He's been really devastated.
He went to the shed first because he knew that they were already searching around the house. And it wasn't like this was like 10 miles away. It was just right down the road. That's why he went there first.
Yeah,
and when you drive by your road, the Ben
Yeah.
Hill Road, you can't see up on the hill to your house from down there on Beach Creek. I would not
No.
think. I don't know.
No. Not with all the leaves on the trees.
Exactly.
In the
When
fall
we drove
or
by,
in the winter. Yeah.
when we drove by on Beach Creek, you can't see up through there. I mean, the foliage is in thick up through there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the foliage is dense as hell.
Don's at home. So your ex coworker was questioned by TBI?
This is Dudley, the ex co-worker.
Yeah. He's still being questioned by some people in law enforcement because, you know, I don't know how far I can go into this, but he, you know, of course, he was madder than hell at me and probably still is. Just don't make a whole lot of sense. We was talking about him earlier, me and some other people, but yeah, he's, I don't know.
He's thinking.
Uh,
He's trying to get the words.
I've always suspected him, and I still do.
There we go.
I
That's
still do.
alibi number one, Dudley. Remember, he had 7 alibis.
I mean,
and they are people.
I've seen different side of him that, you know.
And now he has to describe
seen a side
Dudley.
of him that just makes me believe that he could have very easily done something very hateful. You know, when you just know when you run into somebody that's capable of pure evilness, you know,
Now
you
he's
just don't
selling
never
it.
forget that.
He's selling it. Dudley's the one you should be looking at, not me.
Next question.
I mean, like,
is TBI still checking with you to keep you updated and that kind of thing? Or do you basically just have to call them whenever you want?
well, I'm going to call them tomorrow, but I'm sure, you know,
he's going to
if
call
they had
TBI
anything at all, they'd call me. So I'm just thinking there's nothing. There's just absolutely nothing.
So you probably won't have an answer to this
know,
one either, but were there any bare footprints found in the neighbors' yards?
They say, you know, there's some, you know, down the road, but they got a bunch of kids, you know, down there too. And of course, we can't confirm any of this because the police they're really not telling us a whole lot. But my kids, they run around barefoot all the time.
Yeah.
I just don't know about that. I really don't. My kids could have been running around down there looking for Summer that day barefooted because they run around barefooted all the time. I can't go barefooted like they do, but they can run on these rocks and stuff, but I can't do it.
I can do that. I'm like that too, and my kids are like that too. Absolutely. Kaz, she would like you to just give, like, Candace must be really going like through it, as you know, as well as you. So she's just sending love. Thank you, Kaz. Becky, thank you. Now, I don't know if you. Some people are wondering what Candace did after she went downstairs. She saw Summer was gone, and then she had called 911, but her story kind of stops there.
Now you heard what Miss Cher said. Her story kind of stops there, hence the broken timeline. We've got to the break in the timeline. Okay, now what Cher and Mr. Cher are going to try to do is to try to pick this timeline up with Donald. Now we're at the part I want you to really listen to and pay careful attention to his reply.
You don't want to answer that and put words in Candace's mouth. I understand that.
Well, Candace, you know, when she called me first, says she can't find Summer nowhere. And I says, well, hang up for me and call 911 right now, just in case. So she did. She ran to her mom's trailer over here grabbed her phone because she was the only one at the time that had an AT&T phone, called 911, and I called 911 also.
She called 911. I called 911 also. So, from what Donald just said, how many calls do we have to 911? Type it in the room so that Candace can see. How many calls do we have to 911 so far? Watch the room. Robin says 1. Jackie says 2. Jackie Barty says 1. If Candace called 911 and I did 2, that's what Donald said. How many calls do we have going into the 911 call? Okay. We got 2 calls. 2, 2, 2, final answer. Leanne's got 2. Miss Hippie's got 2. Gail's got 2. Boss Blake's got 2. Lou's got 2. April Smith's got 2. Lisa Jones got 2. Shannon's Pisces got 2. Cat Hunter's got 2. Medieval on You has got 2. They say 2. Jackie got well, Jackie's got 3. Okay. Don says 2. Yawning Gap and Don says 2. Jody says 2. Jan says 2. There would have been 2. Heather says 2. Debbie says 2. Fed Up says 1. Jules says 2. The dispatcher said the parents called. So 2, Mama Lioness. Yeah, so we got 2 calls. We don't know what time those calls came in, but it's before Don gets home, right? It's before Donald gets home now. He's at work. Candace calls him. He tells her to call the cops. He calls the cop too. He's at work. She's at home. So now you have to ask yourself another question. Why would they make another call at 6:26? If they called before 6:26, why would they call again at 6:26? It's when the story starts to chop up and get crazy. So let's continue, because Don is going to tell us exactly how he got home.
After I threw the rest of my tools in the Subaru, and so I got on the road and called 911, and they dispatched me over to Hawkins County. And so then she called me back on Messenger, and we talked the whole way. And she was driving her mother's truck, going all over, back and forth up and down these streets looking. So, and she was nowhere to be found. So she was the first one, driving around all these streets and everywhere looking for her. So that tells you right there that somebody threw her in a car and got gone fast out of this area quickly. And it don't take long. You get on some of these roads and open your vehicle up, you can fly pretty good and get out of here, no problem. So they had at least 25, 30 minutes to get out of this area,
They had 25 to 30 minutes to get out the area. Now, Don is offering information he was never asked about. We're just asking him what he did, but now he's providing information, general information, pertinent information, and he's being specific. 25, 30 minutes to get up and out of here. They threw her in a car. He's being specific. Not a truck, but a car opposite a truck. 25, 30 minutes, you're in and out of here. Take some of these back roads. Listen up. He's about to tell us something else too.
And then, so yeah, I'd say she's. I don't know. I know there's one route out of here that I think the police. I believe there's one route out of here that they can take, and I don't think there's any cameras on that one route out of this area.
He knows of a route that you can take where there are no cameras. Huh? Huh?
Streets looking, so, and she was nowhere to be found. So she was the first one, you know, driving around all these streets and everywhere looking for her. So that tells you right there that somebody threw her in a car and got gone fast out of this area quickly. And it don't take long. You know, you get on some of these roads and open your vehicle up, you can fly pretty good and get out of here, no problem. So they had at least 25, 30 minutes to get out of this area, you know. And then, so yeah, I'd say she's, I don't know. I know there's one route out of here that I think the police. I believe there's one route out of here that they can take, and I don't think there's any cameras on that one route out of this area.
Really? How would you know that, Don? This is what he's telling us out his own mouth on Mr. and Mrs. Cher's channel. He's giving this information. So what route is he talking about? Where he knows there's no cameras. Let's take a look at what he's talking about. You ready for this? Type of 1. Type of 1 if you're ready to see what he's talking about. I hope Candace is watching. This is what Don is telling us, so we got to follow the evidence where it leads us. What route is Don talking about? You know what route that is? This one. This one is what he's talking about. Don is on a route videotaping exactly what he's talking about and also exactly what he told Mr. and Mrs. Cher he did. How does he get here when he should be back at the house? Where is this route? Where on earth is he right now? Don's going to tell us. And he's not only going to tell us, he's going to show us.
This here is on the other side of our mountain, Chimney Top. And on the back side of Chimney Top, there's a road called Chimney Top Loop. It's just, it circles around.
On the back road, Chimney Top Loop is on the other side of the holler, the mountain. Did you all know that? Did you all know that? Let's see what he does.
Back out onto the main road. It's got film it. Somebody could have taken her.
Someone could have taken her to the base of the mountain and came through here.
I've been through this road a few times before.
I've been through this road a few times before.
There's actually an old dirt road and stuff that landslides on over the base of that mountain.
There's actually a dirt road at the base of the mountain.
But it's been covered up by a landslide. But it could have been locked or, you know.
Look how dense this area is, especially to the left. Look at this neighborhood.
And all the way on the very, very top, I'm going to try to pull this up, is a tower. Can't see it. Camera, maybe barely. But all the way on top there, they say it's a fire tower, but what it is an old green and red light that turned. And that's how they got to Tri-Cities Airport back before radio communications was real good. Something like that.
Pay careful attention to the road. This gets very interesting.
But I am sure
He's sure
that anything I think of or anything the public has thought of, TBI has already thought of it many times. But there's something we're missing because we still haven't found it.
How you doing, RJ? Okay. Now he's swinging around to the left. Look at the density of this area.
You get out through these woods and stuff, I'd say it's almost next to impossible to even walk through some of this stuff.
It's even impossible to walk through some of this stuff. Really, Donald? Okay. I'm sure everyone in the chat room right now finds this quite interesting to see because Donald's telling us everything he did that day. This is the first pause of his route trip in this area that he's looking at this specific location. Keep that in mind as we proceed. There is a pause here in the road. No one behind him, no one in front of him, but he's paused right here. And we've got information as to what property that is, too. Hello, Maria. Now you notice the speed, and I'm sure you're watching this. You notice the speed that Donald is going. He's blowing, he's got to be blowing 40, 45 miles an hour on this particular road. Sort of doing what he's described to Mr. and Mrs. Cher. Someone can get in and out of here in a hurry. Some of these back roads. Interesting. Because he's certainly blowing through this road. Open field to the right. House to the right. Homes to the right. And then he stops the video. Now, if you were retracing your steps, Donald, why'd you stop the video? Why'd you stop the video? He's supposed to be retracing his steps. Coming from Jonesboro to the house, to the shed below off Beach Creek Road. That's what he did. Took us to the creek, saw the boys, saw the neighbor, did that. Went into the shed, showed us the shed, did that. Came back, reconnected with Beach Creek Road, connected to Ben Hill, to his driveway, to the carport. This is Don's retracing his steps. Here he's telling us about an entirely different location. However, there has been no explanation as to the reason why he's here. No one has ever asked him about, well, what was this about? Why did you go there? Out of all the other places, what was so important about this place? Let me shift. Let me do this. Let me show you something, folks. Taking what I've just showed you, Donald's retracing his path and following his words on the video interview that he had with Mr. and Mrs. Cher, carefully, and also trying to piece together what he was talking about This is the route to Chimney Top Loop from 110 Ben Hill Road. "20 minutes to 25 minutes tops. Out of all the areas that he could have shown us, he took us here specifically. Why? What is so important about this particular location? Why wasn't it mentioned in the interviews he's had with content creators? I'm talking about all of them. Why wasn't Chimney Top Loop, this drive he's doing, ever mentioned in the narrative? It sounded like a slam dunk from the first part. But this now is something different. Out of all the interviews that Don had on YouTube, he has never mentioned Chimney Top Loop nor explained the reasons why he went to this specific location at all. And no one has questioned him about this information either. However, from 110 Ben Hill, out Beach Creek, 347, through the holler, in 2 different location spots, you can get there pretty quick, down Horton Highway, right to Chimney Loop, and make that right turn, just like Donald did, and show us that area. Crama Mama loves maps too. Much love to you, Crama Mama. Thank you for joining us. Wow. All right. So I know Crama Mama had did an excellent timeline piece on her channel. I followed it that night, and I believe she went live either the next night or the following night after that. That's when I joined the chat, said hello. I love what they're doing because putting together the timeline is the most important. I'm looking at this and I'm going, wait a minute. Crama Mama got to the same part I did. But what's over here? Why is Donald being very specific about this location? Well, let's find out. Let's find out. 110 Ben Hill Road to Chimney Top Loop is a very short distance in terms of time. You can slide in these time pieces from the 5:30 mark all the way up until the 7 o'clock mark, 7:10 mark. Gives you about an hour and a half before the police show up to the resident. Plenty of time. Round trip too. Especially if you're blowing those streets up, making moves. Here's the full route to Chimney Top Loop right here. Off of Horton Highway, the right turn to Chimney Top Loop, up and through this area, through the holler, down into this area, and follow it all the way around just like Donald drove. Just like he drove. The video portion stops here. at about this point. Right here. In this location, the video stops. Now, that's not a retracing your steps, Donald. Why'd you leave us hanging, man? You're supposed to drive all the way back home. More or less, you never showed us how you got here. But if you put together what Donald said, somebody can be in and out of here in 20, 25, 30 minutes tops. They can get in and out. And then you show us Chimney Top Loop. And you can fit that within the body of the timeline. What the hell is a Chimney Top Loop? And why did you shut the video off when you got to this point? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. This is huge. Let me come out of here. And what was I going to do? I thank y'all for bearing with me. I thank you all for bearing with me because I'm going to show you something. This was on my mind for a long time. And I said I wasn't going to do this piece until I knew I was ready. And I'm just calibrating my location right now. So just bear with me. Thank you all for coming. My goodness. 9.4 miles and 16 minutes. Thank you, Renegade. Yeah, very quick. Very quick. What the hell is he doing? He's not out looking for his daughter. She couldn't have gotten over the mountain. Or did she? Or did she? Okay, I'm just trying to find my spot here. Just give me a moment. Oh, I forgot to. All right, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. I'll come right back to you in a second. I'm just calibrating this right now so that you can see it. Because once you do, maybe we may have a message to send TBI. Okay. Maybe we may have a message to send TBI. Oops, there we go. Thank you for being patient with me. I'm delicately moving through this. Okay. So now we got the route around the holler from the house pretty quick. Zooming in on this area. I'm going to try my best to maneuver this as slow as possible so we can see everything. You know how I love maps. Somebody call me a map master. No, I'm not a map master. When I'm looking for stuff, I usually find it. All right. So y'all can see this map right here. In this location, Don turns off the camera, which makes it a partial retracing of his steps. He probably knew something to remind him to shut off the camera. What? What was the thing that reminded him, oops, I got to shut this off now? Why not go back to Horton Highway, make a left turn, take Horton Highway back to Blair's Gap, take Blair's Gap back to 347 Beach Creek Road and go back home? I just shut the camera off. You gave Mr. and Mrs. Cher partial information. You didn't complete the trip. Why? Why? You're welcome, Miss Hippie. You're welcome. Why? All right, so with that said, keep that in mind. The camera shuts off intentionally. But now we got to deal with something. We have to deal with the question, what the hell's here? We have to deal with the question as to what the hell is here at Chimney Top Loop, and why was this so specific to Don out of all the other areas around that holler? He's showing us this. Did TBI search this area? Question. Did Midwest EquiSearch, when they were there searching for summer, search this area? Was this area ever searched? This massive area. If it's not searched, I think you got a tip. Don's got us in another location away from the house, not too far though. 16 to 20 minutes close by the house. Was this area ever searched? Does anybody know? Nana for Life. Yeah, I got an address. I got an address. I know whose property that is. Okay. All right. So if TBI, Midwest EquiSearch, Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, Churchill Search and Rescue Squad, have you guys searched this area? Don's putting this area in play. He put it in play. You see this big landmass here? This huge landmass. There's no homes here. There ain't jack here. Maybe one over here next to Chimney Top Loop. But the center guts of this area, this is huge. This is 221.8 acres of agricultural land that's out here. 221.8 acres of agricultural land out here. And Don has got us in Chimney Top Loop. This is going up the holler. This is an incline here, like a mound, if you will. The rest of this is down below. on Horton Highway. So if I was to take my little guy and drop him down, now you'll be able to see the terrain. Let's take a look at something. Keep your eye on this, see? It's all pitched up from the ground. Everything else to the right is down. Traveling back towards Horton Highway, just about near the spot. Donald's got the camera off. Now, right in front of us is Horton Highway. Here we have a home. And according to Google Maps, this house is here. 2021 Google Map, 2021. I hope you can see that. 2021. That's a beautiful home. I bet you the folks enjoy living there. That to me would be a blind spot. That to me would be a blind spot. If that's a blind spot there, I'm going to also say, oh my goodness, don't blow up my home, my phones. My goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you for that appreciation. My God. You're catching me at work now. All right. Having a home here looks well lived in, don't you think? And going right here, here, we have an access point. This is an access point. Just like the shed on Beach Creek, Don's shed, it's got an access point here. Horton Highway, stop sign. People that live across the street, let's go here for a second so you can see what they see. This is what they see. Let's get in front of this house. Are we there? Yeah. Here's the folks that live directly across the street. Well manicured lawn. A whole lot better than the house we just got finished seeing. So now if they look out their windows, that's what they see. Nothing. The foliage blocks visibility from that point, doesn't it? Okay, so far so good. Let's go down the street a little bit more. Double check. We have a slew of homes. Beautiful too. What do you see? Foliage that blocks any visibility of anybody up here. All right, so let's go back down. Access point. So now let's come back up from that access point. We'll let that clear up a little bit. All this uphill, remember, neighbors across the street can't see jack. You could follow this road At the access point, all the way in here, now you've got a ravine here, and that looks like water. This is a ravine right off the road. Look at this. Ain't a freaking soul out here. 221.8 acres. Make a right turn. Come down here. Look at this. Road breaks in two. One goes right here, deep into the ravine area. Come out. There's an access point directly off Horton Highway. Or you can just go back the way you came, behind the foliage, on the mound, straight out. No one would see anything. Connect back to Horton Highway, make a left, head back home. In a short period of time, that's Chimney Top Loop, folks. That's what Don showed us. And I've always questioned why this wasn't questioned. Why there was no explanation ever given about Chimney Top Loop. Why did Don go here? Does he know somebody here? Did he do contracting or drywall work for anyone that lives in that area? I believe if you connect a person or people that Don did work for him and they live over here, they would be worth questioning, wouldn't they? Quick in and out through the holler, back home. Now, let's kind of tie this up a little bit. I'm going to begin to wind down. Summer doesn't get out the truck. Candace sees something wrong with Summer. She calls Don. No, don't go to the hospital. But meet me someplace. Meet me someplace. Where could she have gone to meet him someplace? Where did Candace go? Because this is where the narrative breaks down. She doesn't have anything. It seems like there's nothing else after she goes out on that road stating that she was searching. Where could she have gone? But she could have come out the house. And I'm just giving you my thoughts. Okay? John Q's thoughts. She could have come out the house, went down Ben Hill Road, took a left, Beach Creek, and went here. Quick and easy. Meet me at the lower shed. They're on their own property. Quick and easy. She doesn't see anybody. They don't see her. She says she saw nobody, no cars, no one. So nothing can be verified from her travels of searching for Summer. Whether she took Beach Creek north to south, whether she took Simpson Loop, or whether she took Ben Hill all the way back to Limestone Branch. You know, back there where Fred Hill lives, back there where Jody Sue is, some other people. Okay? She could have came here, Don could have traveled from Jonesboro back here to the house, and he already showed us what he did when he got here because he himself went here as well. That's where he saw the boys down at the creek, the neighbors there. Why not Candace? If you noticed in the video, if his boys were down there near the creek and he pulled out the way he did, why didn't he call the boys? Hey, boys, jump in the car. We're going back to the house. Your daughter's missing, man. Your family's on alert status. You're going to leave your boys down at the creek? I found that kind of odd. I found that very odd. But why not meet Candace here? Summer's in the truck. She's not responding. Can't go to the hospital. Got an open case with CPS. Oh, damned if they find out anything like this happened. They'll put us in jail. They'll blame us for it. So now we have to think about what to do. And Candace probably was the one who may have even screamed. You know that mother scream called the scream of loss, the anguish and the pain of knowing that this situation was happening right before our eyes? Maybe it was her. Maybe. But remember, the scream is unidentifiable. Don is in his Subaru. Candace is in Grandma's truck. So what does Don do? Candace, you stay here. The Subaru's got GPS. I can't take that. Let me take the truck and I'll take care of this. Where does Don go? Chimney Top Loop. Takes care of it. Comes back. Candace doesn't know anything about what and where Don went at that point. Protects them both, if you think about it. The less she knows, the better. There's nothing she can tell. Just like she tried to tell Dr. Phil, just like she tried to tell the behavior panel, just like she told Chris Madonna, and just like she's telling now on the other YouTube channels. There's nothing really much to tell because she doesn't know anything after that fact. So who's holding the cards? Who's holding the cards here? Same guy that got locked up on another charge for something entirely different. See, that's why Candace can't tell us anything. And it is a good move. Don holds the cards. You have the right to remain silent. If you give up that right, what happens? Anything you say will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to have an attorney present during questioning. If you cannot afford one, one will be provided to you by the court. You think Donald wants to talk to law enforcement while he's been sitting in jail? No, because they didn't before he went to jail. So why should he now? However, they got an issue. They got a problem. You know what that problem is? The boys. CPS took the boys. They have attorneys. Attorneys are now in place for them. So if law enforcement wants to talk to the boys, that's going to be difficult to try to get information out of because they're protected. However, they were on the residence when Summer went missing, so there is relevant information that they would have. Hence, the missing person, Summer Wells. This case is going to leak over into the other case. That other case is coming out of Utah. There may be an indictment very soon coming out of Utah, and it's going to spill over The two cases are running parallel at the same time, like two trains on two separate tracks going in the same direction. But up ahead, the road is going to merge. These two stories will come together, and I say that only because they involve the same damn people in both cases. In both cases. So, wow. Thank you all for coming. Jenna's Journey is in the house. Much love to you, Miss Jenna. So Chimney Top Loop in this case is an issue for me. I hope it's an issue for TBI, the FBI, Midwest EquiSearch, Churchill Rescue Squad, all of the folks from the Sheriff's Department, Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, that has been following this case. Chimney Top Loop is an issue. The only reason why it's an issue is because Don went to Chimney Top Loop and he shared that information, video recorded it, and it should have been checked. Did they check it? Did they check it? Did they check to see? Once Don got back, he told Candace, go to the house. I'll be up shortly. Candace goes up there. Don comes behind her. We have a 4:30 to 4:42 scream that a neighbor said that she heard allegedly. They're out there searching for Summer. Summer is missing. Visibility of making contact with that neighbor wasn't until a little after 6 that early evening. And then hence we have a 911 call at 6:26 p.m. when they've already been called previous as to Donald's statement. He told Candace to call. Candace got her mother's phone. She called 911. Don said he called 911 on the road. And here we go again with another 911 call at 6:26. Hence, we don't have the 911 call online. They haven't made it public. Just like they didn't make the 911 call public in Jacqueline and Trezell West's case. There was something very suspicious about that communication. Just like something is very suspicious about this case's communication. It's been that way since day one, and yet there's no sign of Summer at all. At all. These folks have not been looking. They don't appear to be looking or talking about looking or gathering together a search group like David Robinson is in Buckeye, Arizona, looking for his son. They didn't do any of that. That right there stands out as a huge red flag and a mountain of freaking gold to say there's something wrong with you folks. It's unheard of for parents to act the way they have acted in the last 9 months, going on 10 months and 10 days. Now you got the husband, they're not married. You got Don in jail for something completely different, and Candace is running out there by herself. Grandma is not going to say a word. Well, wait a minute. She did. She took a nap. That kind of messes Candace's narrative up, doesn't it? Because Candace never mentioned Mama taking a nap. So it's already breaking down, and it's breaking down backwards toward the house. And if there's any place that they should look, any place near the house, it should be Chimney Top Loop, which is only 17 to 20 minutes away around the damn holler. where Donald went. It's 221.8 acres of agricultural land that should have been checked because Donald's presence was there. He took that road several times before. He said it in the video. So if the area hasn't been checked, that should be a new search location that should show up on WJHL News. Shouldn't it? I hope they do. We got some people in this case that just, oh man, every time I look at it, I literally had to step back. After we did the Summer Wells Reward Fund Marathon to take a break from it because it was just too much going on YouTube, too much information to sort through, too many interviews, statements, videos put out is just too much. My participation in getting involved in this case was to find out how she got off that property. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to do a damn thing in the beginning. I wasn't going to touch this case. But somebody, an overwhelming majority of you asked me via email to look at the case. And hence, here's where we are. 9 months going on 10 months and 10 days. Summer's still missing. She needs to be found. Alive or not, she needs to be found to put this story to rest. A lot of you who've been covering this case know where I'm coming from. It's ridiculous to see this circus of bullshit all over YouTube regarding this little girl and her disappearance. And to see the family pains me to see what they're doing. It pains me. My heart goes out to David Robinson for going out there to Buckeye, Arizona to look for his son Daniel since June 26th. Summer's been missing since June 15th. These two cases have been running side by side on a timeline. And yet you can look to the left, look to the right, and you see whose heart is in finding their children, finding one finding his son, and these two people. Oh man. Okay, I gotta wind down now. And yes, and Nana 4, yeah, people can become physically sick because this case is taking this long. Law enforcement should go back over, just like we've gone back over. They should take a look at this video. Donald's retracing his steps. They should take a look at everything he's been doing online and squeeze the shit juice out of it, especially Chimney Top Loop, and ask him questions while they got his ass there. What were you doing on Chimney Top Loop, Don? I didn't go to no Chimney Top. Yeah, you did a video. You was retracing your steps. What the hell was that about? Is there anybody in the neighborhood you know over there? Have you done any drywall over there in that neighborhood? Does anybody know you in that neighborhood? Because we're going to canvass the neighborhood next week. Ask anybody if they know you. Who do you think we should be talking to, Donald? See? Who owns that big mass of land out there that you were next to? You know, the 221 acres, 21.8 acres out there? So what were you there for? Why would you make a video showing folks that somebody could have went this way and took her over here? How would you know that? How did you know it would take 20, 25 minutes to get out of there? Take a back road that's got no cameras. Well, damn, that neighborhood didn't look like it had no cameras, huh? That neighborhood doesn't look like it has any cameras. Everything is so spread out. If they do have cameras, they're only going to have cameras peered down on their property, where their cars are, where the walkway is, the footpath, things of that nature. Not way over there on where that damn road was. And to the left, as he was leaving to reconnect with Horton Highway before he turned the damn camera off, was nothing but terrain and brush. Ideal. Just like the same terrain they searched, search number 3, close back to the house. All that rough, high, heavy foliage area is ideal. Oh, she's 100 miles away. We'll never see her again. We'll see her at the resurrection. This is all this guy's been telling us. He's got finality as his speech. Candace doesn't know anything, but something happened. Did you take your eyes off of her, Candace, when you were at the swimming hole? When you were with Hunter? Because Grandma wasn't there. That's another part that was left out of her narrative. It's starting to break down. And the more of us that share this information, I guarantee you, if we could psychologically make an impact on these people, then maybe they will turn around and tell us. But I wanted to share that. Yeah, gymnastics says, John Q, you were on this way back when, before you walked away to protect your sanity. So please, to see you back highlighting the real possibilities. Well, thank you, gymnastics. Yeah, I see you, RJ. The uppers. What the hell is that? The uppers. I thought she was talking about drugs. The uppers? Uppers, downers. Yeah, the uppers has the phone. That phone should be turned in. Whether Tim Mullins has got a copy of it or not, the shit should be turned in. He's ready to go after Michael Vaughn now. I wonder why. Maybe there's going to be some kind of conclusion coming very shortly to where, hey, well, my job is done here. No need to work any longer. Looks like things are getting ready to be wrapped up. I might as well get on to another case. And all these people, my God. All these people. Let me make sure I covered everything that I wanted to cover with you today. Thank you all so much for just jumping in here, saying hello. Because I had to go back and check something out again. And I hope that what I shared today does get checked out. I'm gonna monitor it. Now that the video is done, I'm going to monitor it. I want to see a content creator start focusing in on Chimney Top Loop and get that story out. All content creators, I'm asking you, get Chimney Top Loop out and let's see if something comes out of there. Let's squeeze that orange peel right to the last drop. Maybe it may be a turnkey there. Maybe it'll get Don talking, since he forgot. He gets amnesia, remember? So you have to remind him that he did something, said something, to go back over it again. I mean, they got him in a box, so they can take full advantage of it. They don't have to go out there to 110 Ben Hill Road to go get him. They got him in the box already. Candace, I don't think, would know anything, but check her out too. Check her out too. Yes, you're welcome, Karen Avery. You're welcome. Yeah, these things need to be refreshed. We need to keep them on the table. A lot of what creates a cloud, creates a fog, is just the irrelevant communications between content creators and subscribers and different channels and different rooms and all this other stuff. That kind of chatter put a fog into this case. It became about personalities, super chats and stickers and all that. Come on. So I said, well, this is important. I really wanted to bring this back to our attention, and maybe we can refocus on a different piece of the case that needs to be exposed. Chimney Top Loop needs to be exposed. Now, when I did a live with Scott H. and Miss Penny from True Crimes Commentary, did it last year. We covered this piece of information. I went a little bit in depth tonight because I wanted to show you what the area is and have you take a look what Donald was looking at when he drove past this area. Then you have to ask yourself the question, why the hell are you here? Someone couldn't have came this far, not unless you're trying to tell us something. Are you trying to tell us something? If you are trying to tell us something, then we need to check it out, don't we? I think so. I think so. I know content creators are going to think so now. Levi D, I hope you're feeling better. So in sharing that, I didn't really want to be on here too long, but I usually do about 2-3 hour lives, but I don't like to go that long. Share the video, share the information. Get Chimney Top Loop out there, folks. Talk about Chimney Top Loop. Dig at Chimney Top Loop. Something's out of there in Chimney Top Loop. Crama Mama can definitely identify the property owners out there at the click of a mouse. Who's got how many acres, how much land, who owns what, how many of the same family members own property out there in Beach Creek? You would be amazed. There are a bunch of families that are interconnected out there right on Beach Creek Road alone. And if you go back into Ben Hill Road, back into Limestone Branch, because roads do exist back there in that thick foliage. You can take Limestone Branch to the other side of the mountain because they got their own roads. The property owners, they can figure out ways to shorten 2 points, shorten the distance of going to the store and all kinds of stuff. You see, but in this case, somebody knew the area. And here Donald is pointing the finger at everybody else. Him and his 7 alibis, and Candace has got none. Well, he made sure of it. She doesn't need an alibi. You do. I heard him say that. I said, oh shit. Donald said he got 7 alibis? Oh Lord, he's ready. Oh shit, 7? Yes, 7 names that he could point to. Dudley is one of them. The drug dealers is another. I mean, he's pointing at names. Other folk, yeah, you need to look at it. Oh, I don't know where Jose is. Maybe he had something to do with it. Jose. So he had his, what you need an alibi for? If shit don't ring out with you, what? You gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding me. What do you need an alibi for? So, yeah, that's just my observation, folks. I look at things, I triple check things. I go back over it. I shake it. I've had some great people on my panel covering this information. RJ is one of them. Levi D is another. And we chopped it up here. You know, we fine-tuned certain things to a degree that makes you look into newer information that comes out of it. That's what I've been doing. But this piece I wanted to get out. I'm going to come back and do an update on this piece. I'm digging around and I'm trying to connect names in that neighborhood. Anybody in that neighborhood knows Donald that's not been made aware of, and it show up, then we're going to put it on the table. Get it over to TBI, get it over to sheriff's first, and then go from there. But Chimney Top Loop needs to be shaken out. I believe when True Crimes Commentary, Miss Penny, said that there were 3 RSOs in that area, I said, okay, now we're cooking. You got some bad people all up in that area. Okay. Birds of a feather. Right, Donald? Birds of a feather. Oh, let me see who did this. Wait a minute. Before I jump. Somebody sent me something. Wait a minute. I got a phone call from my daughter. Somebody sent me a PayPal. Miss Jan, thank you. Oh, boy. You do it to me all the time. Thank you. Much love to you. Oh, my goodness. I said in the last live, the ladies definitely know how to take care of John Q. Most certainly. And that says a lot. Thank you so much. You know, you can spend literally hours and days and weeks trying to put this thing together to try to make sense. Connecting the dots is what we're trying to do. We're trying to tighten the timeline down to a specific point that makes sense. And this is just part of the way of doing it. You know, Chimney Top Loop is part of the timeline, folks. Chimney Top Loop is part of the timeline. So we have to include this information because guess what? Donald included it. He included it. And as for, well over 200 people up in here. My goodness. Definitely make sure that you definitely confirm your attendance on this live. If you hit that little thumb outside the door just to say that you were here and to let Summer know that, hey, we're still working on this case. I didn't put this thing down. I don't put cases down. Not even the Kanika Jenkins case. We're still working behind the scenes on that. Believe it or not. Civil trial is still on in that case. And as new developments and new information comes from that, I'll be giving you an update on that case. Cash Gernon's case, the same thing. Especially when you're in the court proceedings part, that's when it's going to take a little time for this information to come. But it's coming. It's coming. Orrin and Orson West, a.k.a. Classic and Sincere, Pettis. Now their case is going to start cooking next month. Okay, so we got a very interesting spring-summer load coming. I want the same thing for summer. I want this case over with, like everybody does. And the best way to get this case over with is to bring summer home. We put a lot of work in the month of October of 2021, that marathon. Miss Q, Scott H, Miss Penny, Miss Libby, Miss Sharon on her channel, Miss Nita from Nita's World was a part of that. I mean, there's a host of people that were a part of it, including Chris Madonna. But nobody's saying anything about the marathon. I find that interesting. Yet, the reward fund is over $74,000. And you mean to tell me nobody's smart enough to step up and talk? Maybe with Don out the way, maybe somebody will have a change of heart. Who knows? Maybe somebody in Chimney Top Loop. Who knows? Yes, Levi D, I hope you feel better. I know that, the last time we spoke on the panel, you were going through some things and everything. I hope that that part of it has been taken care of and you're in the recovery stage. So definitely looking forward to reconnecting with you. Also, Miss Libby, I will be in contact with you if you're still in the room. I'll be in contact with you about any updates we're working on for Monisha Leith in that case. Miss Duchess, I will be in contact with you shortly in reference to the Vertus Morgan Jr. case. I got your email. Thank you very much. Let's see. Also, Brother Renegade, I hope you're feeling better. I know we spoke last night on the phone, and it's good to see you. It's good to see. Hey, I see your name in blue in my room. I know I'm good. I know I'm good. Hello, Miss Yunu. Much love to you. So, I know I didn't get to your comments, but I wanted to bring this content to you today. I said, once I get this part done, then I can move on to the second part. We'll be coming back to tighten up some ends I did want to cover with you. I just don't want to overdo it tonight. Give some of those other content creators some time to connect with you that you enjoy listening to. And I'll be back. I'll be back. And it's good to know that. Okay, Libby. T. Sophia, how are the forensics processing in the Robinson case? It is an ongoing process, Miss T. Sophia. Ongoing process. Hopefully, we'll have Mr. David Robinson for the Daniel Robinson case to give us an update. I'm looking to make a connection with him. Once I do, I'd like to schedule a live to bring him back so that he can share that information, even though he is on a daily basis sharing that information on his channel. Please help find Daniel on YouTube. But there are parts of the case that we're working on together that need clearance before we're able to release any information regarding the direction. So thank you for asking about that, T. Sophia. Betty Joe, much love to you too. Justice, Miss Justice 1111. How you doing? Dang, I missed it. Well, yeah, you're hanging out in the regular rooms. You know. But I know you still send love my way. And yes, so that's what I wanted to cover. Let me just double check. Okay, got that. Yeah, we need to find out why Donald went to Chimney Top Loop. And whether that area was searched or not. Never came up. And when EquiSearch was out there during their search and the special searches and the quiet secret searches and nobody could say anything kind of searches, I wonder if Chimney Top Loop was a part of that search. I'm just wondering. Didn't hear anything. But Donald takes us across the holler, through the holler, on the other side of the mountain. He's thinking Summer got that far over there? Specifically? Something that needs to be checked again. Something that needs to be checked again. Yes. Oh, Miss Adoption Scams. Okay. Need to hit the replay, start listening, but life grabbed me away. Can't wait. Okay. I would love to see you and Justice for All do a live together, Miss Heather. Let Justice for All know. I'll do a live with anybody that is covering this case and wouldn't mind having me on the panel. Sure, I've done panel discussions before. I even had Benny Keys up here with Miss Q on Q Squared, and along with Miss Penny, and we were able to cover a little bit of his experience there at 110 Ben Hill Road with Don and Candace. And I just found that his thoughts and his attitudes about his experience with Don and Candace, very important to the case, aside from everything else that has occurred with Benny Keys. Okay, aside from all that, there is pertinent information that he does have. And you have to respect that person because they're doing the same thing I'm doing over here, is that he's looking to find Summer. We're all looking for Summer to come home. And all I have to do is just say, look, there was an accident. She swallowed this. She drank this. She hit her head. I didn't know what to do. Didn't want to go to the hospital because I didn't want to take a chance in losing my boys to CPS because we have an open case with them. I called Donald. He came up with this damn idea. And now look at all the shit we're in. I didn't expect any of this stuff. I didn't want my daughter to experience what happened, but it happened. So now all you got to do is just tell us where she is. All you got to do is tell us where she is. Will you pay a price? Yes. Candace, you will pay a price. Part of that price is already being shown. You stand alone right now. Don's paying part of that price now because he's in jail. It's starting to show which direction you guys are going in already. So it wouldn't hurt at all just to tell us where she is. Who's got her? What happened? If we're going to be mad at you, we're going to be mad at you. So what? We're already mad at you because of what you've already done. But people like us that care for our own families and also other people's families too, to come across a case like this that touches us all this long and to see what we saw unfold from it. Yeah, we're going to be mad at you anyway. Both of you. But the time is starting to tick down. The sands in the hourglass are almost up. I believe that there will be an indictment coming out of Utah. It's just a matter of time. It's starting to warm up now. And something is going to turn in the Summer Wells disappearance. Something is going to turn. Everything is still on the table. Number one, nobody's been cleared. Number two, that means we can continue to expose this case as much as we can to keep the name Summer Moon Utah Wells alive on social media, on YouTube, until this case comes to a final close and bringing Summer home. I hope you keep your sanity, Leanne. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to jump off of here. It's almost 8 o'clock New York time. The 8 o'clock YouTube channels are going to be lighting up with notifications. So that John Q, I'm going live anyway. Well, okay, go ahead. But I'll be back. I want to thank everybody from my heart for the support that you've given me to keep this case in front of me and on my table. Thank you for the love and support that you send me through the appreciations that I get on my phone. Thank you to the moderators that have held my chat down. See, no drama in here. No drama. No bots, no robots, no. Look, well over 200 people up in this chat. Isn't that amazing? When people come together, focused, in thought, in prayer, in heart for the right stuff. Because people know my channel. They know who I am. It's easy to reach out to me and talk to me. I'm very approachable. Renegade's going back to bed. Okay, brother. Rest well. Miss Yunu, thank you for joining us. And as always, as I've always said, as I always do, for everyone, be well. Stay blessed with Godspeed. We'll be back in our next video live very shortly. But take care in the meantime. Much love.